Yeah, well, I was brought up by the same person who discovered New Edition, New Kids on the Block. His name was Maurice Starr. It was great years for me. You know, I was young. I was 11 years old on Warner Brothers Records. That
Well,
was a great thing. Signed by Benny Medina, who was responsible for Prince of Bel Air and all those, you know,
yeah.
great acts like that back in the days. But it was a great experience. It's a beautiful thing. I just found out last week. Due to the fact that my mother was born in France, I'm a French citizen as well. So that's a cool thing. You know, where I'm from in Boston, Massachusetts, it's a heavy Cape Verdean population.
Yeah.
So, you know, I tend to cling on to the Cape Verde uh side of my heritage a lot more than I do the French side. But, you know, it's a beautiful thing to have culture. You know what I'm saying? We're in a world today where everybody's one. And I'm a perfect product of one person, you know what I'm saying? Of a lot of cultures mixed into one. So I feel good about that. It's okay. You know, it's not really. It's a small city. You know, it's not really. You know, as far as propelling and being, you know, uh, being really big and successful out your city is really hard. You have to travel to like, you know, New York, L.A.,
Yeah.
Atlanta, Miami in order to really get your, you know, your full motion running because, you know, Boston's a corporate city. You know, it's about money. It's about, you know, putting on a suit and going out to get your money and owning businesses and stuff like that. But what Boston does is it trains you. You know, it trains you for being, you know, on the next level. You know, a lot of the great musicians from around the world come to study in Boston. You know what I'm saying? It's a great place to learn. So as far as hip hop and R&B, it's not really big like that. You know, I'm the biggest thing they got right now in Boston, Massachusetts, and I'm proud to be on top of that. You know, and I'm proud to be representing Massachusetts as a whole. You know. Well, he came to Boston one day, and you know, he already heard I was making noise in my city, so he ended up reaching out to me. I got up with him. We had a great conversation. Where he was doing his radio interview, where we had the meeting at. My studio happened to be across the street, so I just asked him politely, you know, is it cool if you hop on one of these records I got? You know, come to my studio. You know, he ain't have no problem with it. You know, he said, let me go eat some dinner and I'm gonna come through. He kept his word. He came through. You know, he shot me at 16. We end up shooting a video a few months later, and you know he respected my hustle. You know, I didn't have no problem, you know, paying for my own video. I ain't had no problem taking the initiative to be my own man and not expecting somebody else to give me a handout. You feel me?
Then,
I've grown, you know, being around Rick Ross and the whole Maybach music empire. You know, it opens your ear up. You know, I was developed in jazz. You know, my pops being a jazz musician, so you know, with the Maybach influence, it kind of opened up my ears to great sound. You know what I mean? You know, my choice of beats are really like second to none. You know, I get such a wide range and variety of music from producers around the world, and you know, now I have a choice instead of just doing a beat just because I have music just to do it. You know what I mean? So I'm really being, you know, really particular about what type of beats that I choose during the process of my music making. But you know, I've grown. I got to a point where I can develop artists and develop writers right now. You know, I have with me Low Key and J Rel of the Inkwell. It's a writing team and a production team that I created over the last 8 months, and I developed these young men into fine musicians. You know what I mean? So that's what the Maybach influence has done. You know, respect out to Jay-Z, because if it wasn't for Jay-Z, none of this would be possible. You know what I'm saying? So the influence from Jay-Z and Maybach music and the whole Rockefeller era, and just, you know, me be having a jazz influence, you know, it just opened up my mind. So musically, yeah, I've changed and I grow every day. I learn something new. And not only that, when I learn, you know, I influence my young ones around me to move in the same path that I learned and through my experience. So it's a great thing. Well, see, Rick Ross, you know, everybody around the Maybach camp is pretty much an independent person. So, I just built my own studio. He has his own studios in Atlanta and in Miami. So, what we do is we basically sit in our own studios, come up with some ideas and just shoot ideas to each other. That's how we feed off each other. We get in our own creative space and develop our music in our circumference. And then when we decide that we have something that's, of value, we send it off to each other. That's how we communicate with our music. But that's my homie more than anything. That's my brother. Beyond just his music, we've been on tour for years.
Yeah.
We done traveled the world together. I done been to Spain. When he came to Spain the last time when we was in
City did you go?
we was in Barcelona.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I came to Barcelona. I got to perform out there and across Africa. So, that's my bro. And when we musically, do our thing on our own, but we creatively come together when it's time. Okay, yeah, no, my music, I'm taking a really, musical approach on this one. My project's called Say Hello to Forever. Slate to drop on January 10th, 2012. But it's I'm really being creative. I'm open up with my young homies. My new writing team. I'm allowing them to really spread their wings since they've learned so much and really grew over the past few months. I'm dibbling and dabbling into ballads, slow records, high driven conceptual records. But I'm really taking my time out with the ladies on this one.
Oh, okay.
I'm giving bedroom music on this one. I'm giving you some music you can make love to, that you can play, amongst your loved one and really sit back to a glass of wine, a little Moscato or something, maybe smoke you a good one, however you enjoy your time with your husband or your man or your loved one. You know what I'm saying? And, have a good time to my music. There's some sad songs. There's some happy songs. There's some love-making songs. And, there's some songs that are well thought out that give you an understanding of what life is really about. It's been used for many years. You understand?
Yeah.
It was a secret tool that has been used since the early 70s, early 80s. Michael Jackson has been using it. A lot of your favorite musicians and artists have been using it for years. It was just a secret. When the brother T-Pain came out with the autotune and really went into the robotic sound, it was just something cool, and it was something to run with. Nowadays, people use it to kind of quicken up a studio session so it doesn't last as long. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I don't really have a problem with it. To each his own. On my particular project, I'm not really getting into auto-tune like that. I may have one record where I lay a little auto-tune maybe during a hook, just to give that, it's an American feel, That's a part of the American swag. So, I put a little bit on there, but at the end of the day, our music is pure. You know what I'm saying? We make music from the soul. We're not worried about no auto-tune. It's a staple, and it's the way we do music. But when we record, 90% of the time right now, since I opened up my studio, we do a straight shooter. And if something needs auto-tune or some tuning or some fixing, it might happen depending on what kind of engineer we have in here. But at the end of the day, I don't have no problem with auto-tune. To each his own. You know what I mean? It was phenomenal. First and foremost, I went to Lagos. I went to Abuja. You know what I'm saying? It's, a beautiful culture. The fact that I got to, touch a land where my forefathers was from was really amazing. You know what I mean? The food was amazing. The people are spectacular. The culture and the sound of the drum is amazing. And it's good to see, I was around some really wealthy Nigerians, and to see my black people, that are kings and princes and queens and princesses is amazing. This is something you read in fairy tale books. I don't get to experience, normal people don't get to experience, flying on jets and, eating fine cuisine with kings and, princes and stuff like that. So it's a cool thing. South Africa is one of the best countries and that I've ever been to. The people are absolutely phenomenal, gorgeous, beautiful people that are really different. And you know, that's right. Actually, that's Ross calling me right there. You know, we on our way to Trinidad this weekend. But nah, South Africa's the best. You
Yeah.
know, I love Africa. Period. You know, I went to Cape Verde and performed for 50,000 people with Akon
Did you perform
last year.
in Cape Verde too?
Yeah, I went to Praia and performed in Cape Verde. That was an experience, you know, because my forefathers are from there.
Yeah.
You know, my history is from Cape Verde. You know, so it was a blessing. I got to meet a lot of relatives, a lot of friends that I haven't seen in 10, 15 years. You know, it was just like a family reunion, so to speak. You know, everybody spoke English and Portuguese, and you
Yeah.
know, it was just great. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
you know, it was an experience and something I got to. You know, my grandmother's still living, and you know, she's from New Bedford,
Oh, really?
which happens to be and she thrives from Fogo and Praia, and my you know, a lot of people in New Bedford, you know, thrive from there. So you know, it was just good to be able to tell her about her country because she's never, you know, got to experience it like that. I'm hoping to come to Spain really soon. You know, really soon I'll be in Spain.
Maybe next time
Uh,
in Madrid.
I was in Madrid, but I was in Madrid just for a little while.
uh,
But hopefully we can make that happen. If you want Maybach Music Group to come through, you already know you got the line to us. We come out there. Rick Ross is ready. Meek Mill's ready. Wale, Gunplay, Masspike. You know, the whole team ready. Yeah, no, I don't have no problem with that.
okay.
I'll give you an insert from one of my records called Sex Compass that I actually just shot a video in Thailand too. So you know, be on the lookout for that. But I'll give you a couple bars real quick. It's no problem. Shout out to everybody in Spain. You already know what time it is.
Yeah.
Okay, here it goes. On schedule for 9 o'clock. I'll be there on time. So don't think I forgot that your needs are craving me. 'Cause I'm gonna spend the night in between your sheets, yeah. Yeah, nah, you know, I'm a social network king. You can find me on Twitter
Yeah.
at Masspike Miles, MASSPIKEMILES. You can always stay up on the latest at masspikemiles.com. You can hit me up on Reverb Nation, Masspike Miles. You can hit me up on Tumblr, Masspike Miles. You know, we on MySpace, Masspike Miles, Facebook, Masspike Miles. And you already know, you already know Maybach Music, you know, as far as social networking, we run the game. We give you the best videos, we give you the best music, and we are a force to be reckoned with in 2012. Just know that. Thank you very much for having me. Shout out to everybody in Spain. Thank you for the support. Be on the lookout for Say Hello to Forever, January 10th. I repeat, Say Hello to Forever, January 10th. I'm doing an exclusive deluxe version on iTunes with a video attached to it. Please pick that up and download it and spread the word to everybody in Europe. You already know what time it is. It's your boy, Masspike Miles, and I'm signing out and salute everybody out there. You hear me?